stopping by the channel. My name's Leah, and let's talk about the drama. So, a lot has been going on in the Bravo sphere, and I kind of want to talk about it. Between this and midterms week, the shenanigans. The shenanigans. So, let's get into it. So, let's start off with what had the Twitter streets, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube in shambles when it was mentioned on Valentine's Day. So there's this page on Twitter called Bravo and Cocktails, and they posted this blind item. And if you don't know what a blind diamond is, item is, it's basically like a rumor with no regard, meaning that it's a rumor, but they don't have any receipts to back it up, or they have the receipts, but they're not gonna post it. It's just basically speculation and the rumor mill just pumping out the rumors, you know? So this is what it said. So it's the subject line is drag off the cast with a question mark, and it says this problematic East Coast housewife has been on the show for a few seasons now and is rumored to not be getting her contract renewed for the new season. With filming slated to begin within the next month or so, production has finally recognized that the trouble she has caused / has gotten herself into has not been a good look for the overall franchise, along with added pressure from many opinionated fans calling for her termination. The clear as day fact that she will never own up to her share of mistakes, and there's a high probability that she will continue to cause and get into unnecessary trouble. It is said that the producers and the other networks are already looking for her replacement and already are toying with some ideas, including testing the waters of some new women recommended by current and already returning cast, and the promotion of a friend of from the last season. Watch out. So everybody was like, oh my gosh, they're talking about Miss Candiace Dillard Bassett from Real Housewives of Potomac. And I was just kind of like, I don't believe it. I just didn't believe it. And I still don't believe it to this day because, excuse me, the way in which you could tell that this person was talking about Candiace is they used the tagline or the subject line. They put it dragged off the show. And we all know the whole situation, the altercation she had with Monique. They always reference her getting dragged. And then the whole part about fans being opinionated, we know that's in reference to Candiace as well. And the friend of, everybody immediately thought of a scholar and things like that. And I just was like, are y'all that dense? I really do feel like people were being dense, mainly because I'm like, whether you like her or not, sis is good for the show. Like the fact that her name was trending off of just this little tea that was spilled, or this rumor that was being spilled online, and her name wasn't in it, shows you that, like, okay, they not about to get rid of her. They not about to get rid of, as much as, let's just like how people wanted Kenya to be gone. Kenya trends every time she comes on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just like Nene trends every time she's on. It's like, I don't think fans understand that when someone trends, whether it's for something good or bad, to a network, that means something, because it means there's hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of eyes on one person that's a part of their franchise, which means they can use that in the sense of more advertisement dollars. You know, and that's where really what they want is where the money resides, you know? So Candiace kind of played into it too. So like, I got to say that as well, because she reposted this on Instagram and it says, knowing when to leave is so important. The job, the party, the relationship. So everybody was like, oh crap. Like, oh my gosh, she really about to, like, she gone for real, for real. But then she came back the next day and she posted this on Twitter. She says, wow, I was trending. You all really want me to be that girl, don't you? And the truth of the matter is, Candiace is that girl. Like I said, whether you hate her or not, she is the princess of Potomac. She is. She brings out a visceral reaction in a lot of the viewers, whether it's good or bad, that is profitable for the show and profitable for her. Because as many people who are saying they thought her music and stuff was trash, you hoes was still clicking. Y'all was still clicking on the video and listening to it. So for you to say that her music is trash, that means you took the time out your day, time that you can't get back, to listen to it. So at the end of the day, she's still winning. You know what I mean? So I was just like, y'all are wild. Y'all are wild. And I also saw a lot of people, which I thought was interesting, that were like, we don't like Candiace, but kicking her off the show would be such a stupid mistake for Bravo. And it's a stupid choice. That's why I didn't really believe that it was real. This also came under the guise of, well, after Andy had, like, I guess did an interview, and he basically said there's 2 housewives that he personally, like, has disdain and hatred towards, and everybody pinpointed, or I really was like, oh, he's talking about Kenya and Candiace. And I'm like, even if he does hate both of them, he would never get rid of them, mainly because Andy don't got that power anymore. He may be able to make suggestions, but at the end of the day, the network has the power. But he not stupid. And you can hate someone all day, but if they fill in your pockets with coin, I'm not getting rid of you. I will say one thing I want Candiace to stop doing is constantly voicing her opinion about how differently she is treated from the White Housewives. So I saw this on Twitter as well. It's on the Reality Tea. It says, Real Housewives of Potomac star Candiace Dillard says she's treated differently than Lisa Barlow for outbursts because Lisa is white. And then they were like, do you agree? Do you what do you think? Here's the thing. It's Candiace has every right to voice that. I just feel like it's falling on deaf ears. So why keep saying it, if you get what I mean? It's like, we saw it. It's like the fact that everyone was going up for what Lisa did to Meredith. Like, I was like, as much flack as Candiace gets, now I would understand if Lisa got that, because that was out of pocket. Candiace only retaliates when people come at her, and it's not her fault that she can stab you in the throat and you can't, or you can't handle her reaction. I just wish she would stop doing that, because I feel like it just opens her up for so much scrutiny that I already feel like she doesn't deserve. Because I went into the comments, and of course it was a lot of people who look like that who were constantly saying, well, Lisa only had one outburst. Okay, Lisa had one outburst and basically tore down and talked cash money about her friend that she had known for, I think, over 10 plus years. She called that lady a whore. She talked about her husband. She talked about her son, her kids. So it's like, that one outburst, and what has Candiace really have ever done? The whole drag me conversation. The only person Candiace gives it to is Ashley, and that's because Ashley comes back at her. Y'all just don't like it because Ashley is a light-skinned, white adjacent woman who puts on this front that, like, I'm Mother Teresa because I popped out 2 kids. And I just wish Candiace would stop opening up herself for the negative speak. Because it's like, of course you're treated differently. You're black. We know that. Like, I'm black. I know that when I come into certain situations, I'm going to be treated differently. I just want Candiace to take, like, the Kenya approach, where it's like, people gonna talk trash, but my star is going to constantly rise. Even if I, like, and because Kenya be paying people dust. Kenya never argued. Like, I've never really seen Kenya argue. She may have done that in the beginning of her journey in Real Housewives of Atlanta, but Kenya's star has risen above where she doesn't have to go back and forth with fans. And I want Candiace to get to that point because her star is rising. Her music is doing well. Like, she, out of all of the franchises, is one of the, other than Candy, but Candy came into this already with a music career. I could see Candiace doing well. I could see Candiace having fame to where, like, she is asked to sing at really, like, at the BET Awards, or she is asked to sing at, like, you know, Essence festivals or things of that nature. Like, she's that demographic, and I just want her to stop letting these blogs take these sound bites because you know they're going to use it to trash you. That's my only thing. Now let's get into the next shenanigan. Okay, so let's talk about Miss Lisa Rinna and Miss Kathy Hilton. So it's a lot of stuff going down in Beverly Hills, and I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt. Mainly because we always get, like, what's the word? Antics before the season is, like, released. And then when the season comes, it's not hitting on anything. It's kind of like, this is dry. Like, last season was okay. Like, I would give last season, I think I rated it like a C or something, because there were parts of it where I was like, okay, like, this is what y'all been talking about. Like, I'm ready. And then, but as the season progressed, it was kind of like, oh, this is dry. This dry. So there's been so much mention where there's supposed to be, like, this alleged rift between Lisa Rinna and Kathy. It's supposed to be Lisa Rinna versus Erica. There's supposed to be, like, something between Erica and Garcelle and Sutton. The new girl is supposed to be allegedly, like, Erica's new BFF. So it's, like, so much information coming out, but I'm kind of like, y'all are doing this, but I don't think the season gonna hit the way they are trying to make it hit. Like, I really don't. So there was this, like, again, another kind of, well, this wasn't really like a blind item, or it kind of was, but I'm not going to post it. Y'all know I always got screenshots, but the person deleted their tweet, so I don't know if they really want people to know, so I'll just say allegedly, but I'm gonna read off the tweet anyway. But it says, my sources is telling me that Kathy directed the F slur towards Sutton's assistant when he dropped her off at the airport for Aspen, which was brought to light by Rinna at dinner the night after. This caused Kathy's meltdown and threats of the cease and desist. So then this kind of aided, like, kind of helped add to Lisa Rinna, because Lisa Rinna, like, previous weeks before this person even made this, like, alleged, like, you know, alleged rumor or alleged tea or this blind item or whatever, she posted this in her IG stories where she had, oh, damn, are we back to cease and desist? And then another one was, like, Doubt protests too much. So it's, like, it's kind of hitting on that there might be something going on. And because Kathy has been acting weird too, mainly with the, what's it called? I remember seeing, like, a screenshot of her on her husband's, like, Instagram, and in and she posted, like, a comment like, come get me, like, I'm ready to go home. Like, I guess she was in Aspen and she wasn't having a good time. Then people were, like, upset, because when this came out, everybody was, like, excited because they were like, oh my gosh, like, oh, a Kathy takedown season, because they feel like, what's the word? Some people felt like Kathy's whole expression of, like, the quirky, goofy stuff wasn't real. Other people feel like it was real and they loved it and they liked it. Then people weren't happy that Bravo was giving Kathy more money, like, was increasing her salary. I was going to say salary. Her salary when she was just a friend of the show and she really didn't bring much. So it's a lot going on. I will say, if that alleged story about her using the F slur towards someone that's a part of the gay community, she should be reprimanded. That's like you don't do that. You don't call no community by any slur. Like, you really don't. You don't do that. So if she did in fact do that, then she needs to be dealt with. Also, I'm kind of like, people who are surprised, she hangs out with Donald Trump. Like, there's a boatload of pictures of Kathy and Melania and Trump all together. Like, they're legitimate friends. So I would not think she would not be a part of a bigoted community. But like, a lot of the housewives are. Like, a lot of these rich people are bigots. Like, we know that. Like, but if she did do that and she made that derogatory like word towards someone, then she should be dealt with. But like I said, I'm holding this whole, like, all this stuff coming out, like, about the ladies feuding, about Garcelle and Erica not being cool, like Sutton and Erica not being cool. Lisa Rinna versus Erica, Lisa Rinna versus Kathy. I'm holding all of that with a grain of salt because they did this last season, and last season was okay. Like, it was C-worthy. So I'm not about to be up in here thinking like, oh my God, we about to get some explosiveness. But I wonder what y'all think. Like, do you think it's true? I mean, it's not far-fetched, but I am interested to see a white woman meltdown from Miss Kathy Hilton. So let's get to the next thing. So the last thing we're going to talk about is Miss Monique Samuels. So I guess Love and Marriage DC is actually happening. We, yesterday, or then maybe, I think it was yesterday, or either the day before yesterday, we got an actual clip. Like, it was like only like 10 or 15 seconds. And it was like a little promotional clip of her saying, I'm back, y'all. And she's like, get to know all of me. And I was like we didn't in Potomac. But that's either here nor there. So I'm going to feed in a video. It's just of her, actually in the outfit that she was in for the promotion. And she's talking about being back and saying like, and talking about how she kind of had reality PTSD, which I feel like you caused yourself, but but congratulations to her. Like, and that's like no hate or anything. It's kind of like, if you have, I will give anybody props. If you had a goal and you obtained it, I'm gonna give you kudos for that. Like, you get congratulations from me. And it seems like that was her goal. I also think it's in her mind, she's about to be the Giselle on this cast. Not saying that like Giselle, like she's envious of Giselle or anything. It's the sense of like Giselle over in Potomac, she's one of the HBICs. Like, she's the main sorority sister in charge. And that is what Monique wants to be. And that's what she will be. I even saw a little clip of two of the girls who are like on the show that like seem to be running behind her. So that's what she wanted and that's what she's getting. I might watch it because I am curious to see like what her dynamic is going to be with those women. Like, are you going to have the same interactions, or is it going to be different because there's some male testosterone in the mix? Because on the Love and Marriage Huntsville, like, we see the husbands and the wives interact, whereas on Potomac, it's mainly the women interacting. So I wonder how that dynamic is going to be. Like, is she going to get along with everybody? Is everyone's going to get along with her? I am interested to see like where the stories are going to take. Like, where are these stories going to go? Like, what specifically are we focusing on? Like, is it just going to be with your family, or is there going to be like you trying to build a business? Are you working on a relationship that like you with a family member? Things of that nature. Like, that's what we see on Love and Marriage Huntsville, them doing their contracting, doing what else are they doing? Like nursing and all that stuff. So I'm just kind of like, okay, this is interesting, but I feel like it's a contradiction, and I think that is why most people have something negative to say, whereas her fans are excited, and that's for them. I get it. But I think where people are like, girl, you were talking all that trash about that little check from Bravo, knowing good and well that little check you about to get from OWN, excuse me, is nowhere near what you get from Bravo. And that's not to say that OWN is a subpar like network, because I enjoy most of the content on OWN, but OWN ain't no Bravo. Also, it's like her and her husband were so angry, talking about how what was it? How they were trying to take down a black family, and how they were trying to take a black man down, and how reality TV isn't there to uplift people and all that crap. But it's like, have you seen Love and Marriage Huntsville? Like, have you seen it? Like Love and Marriage Huntsville is toxic AF. It's a fun ride, but it's toxic. And I was like, and it's a lot more toxic than RHOP. So it's like, what are you going to garner? I guess I'm trying to figure out what are they trying to garner from switching networks? Like, other than she's going to be the main girl, and that's what you can tell Monique wants. Monique wants to be the head in charge. You can tell that's what she wants to be. So I'm interested to see where they gonna go. I might watch it. If I don't watch it, I know I'm gonna see the clips on the internet. But drop down and let me know your comments. So yeah, y'all, that is it. That's all. Like, what are y'all thoughts? Let me know what you think about the blind item with Candiace. What are your thoughts about this Kathy and Lisa Rinna's debacle or situation going on? And what do you think about Miss Samuels getting her, like, you know, being a part of a new show? Yeah. So as always, remember to be bravely authentic. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.